Hey everyone, so today I am filming this really fun video that was actually requested by you guys in one of my recent videos. One comment was like, you should definitely do a video saying 21 things that you've learned in your life before you turn 22. So I just made a little list on my phone. I turned 22 yesterday and that feels so surreal. I feel like a baby and feel like I really don't know that much at all. But these are some things that I believe I've learned in my now 22 years of life. And I know probably other people have done these videos on YouTube, but yeah, I just thought it could be fun. So the first thing I wrote is that nothing is that serious and you should do what makes you happy and what makes you feel alive, because yeah, life is too short. And I remember in high school caring so much what people thought and everything was like such a big deal, but you just gotta like take a deep breath and remind yourself that seriously, nothing is that serious. So the second thing I've learned is that eating healthy and taking care of yourself is cool and nice, I wrote, because I think it took me so long to come to this realization and like fighting eating healthy because I just wanted to eat whatever I want, and I still do eat whatever I want, but seriously, when I eat healthy and take care of myself, I feel 10 times better than if I don't eat healthy. Like, you actually feel better. So if you can prioritize that in your life, I promise you, you will see a big difference. The third thing I've learned in my 22 years of life is that you deserve to be treated with respect by everyone, period. Like, I don't care who it is. Yeah, and that's something that took me a while to realize too, but I started to realize like, whoa, why am I like putting up with other people's behavior like this towards me? So I think just kind of being aware of that is really helpful in figuring out the people that you want to like surround yourself with and that you want to deal with. I mean, I'm sure sometimes it's hard, professors, employers, stuff like that, but it's just something to be mindful of. Fourth thing I've learned is that sometimes you outgrow people in your life and it's okay to grow apart. And I think that's really hard for people to grasp, especially when you're younger and you feel like you need to hang on to like all your friends. But sometimes your friends do grow apart, and well, you and your friend grow apart, but I think that's okay if you guys are like really different now or on different paths. That's okay, and especially if they're doing things that you don't like. Yeah, it's just something to think about. So I think that it's okay to switch friends as you grow up and change. Everybody grows up and changes. The fifth thing I've learned is that you should prioritize yourself and your happiness and your well-being above all, always, because that is what matters the most and what's most important, I think. The sixth thing I've learned is that ice cream will always make things better, but it will also always make my stomach hurt. It might not make your stomach hurt, but it always makes my stomach hurt, but it also always makes everything better. The seventh thing I've learned is to not take anything for granted. Seriously, I just try to live my life like so grateful, and I don't know, yeah, like everything is like an opportunity and a blessing and something that's so exciting, and I think that's such a good practice to be in. The eighth thing I've learned is that I've really learned this, I feel like, throughout high school and coming into college, is that you're always going to be judged and stereotyped for who you are. I've noticed it a lot with age, but just being aware of it and that it's a thing, and noticing if you're being like treated unfairly, kind of like what I said before with always deserving respect. So yeah, I'm sure all of you have faced, I guess, kind of like discrimination in a way, but it's just, I guess, a part of the world and something to be aware of if it's happening. So I don't even know if that's what I've learned. I've just observed that it's out there, I guess. So the ninth thing I've learned is that cuddling with friends and watching movies or YouTube videos will always be fun, no matter what. And if you're having a crummy day, just like make plans with friends because they're gonna make you feel better. The 10th thing I've learned is that you'll never regret making plans with friends and sticking to them instead of being lazy and bailing. I'm sure so many of you, like growing up from like high school to college, I feel like so many people get so tired and just like lazy in life and just want to lay in bed all day and watch Netflix and not see anyone. Like, I feel like that's such a thing in today's society, but I swear if you stick with plans and you like actually go explore with your friends, or like even studying with them, or like go on a lunch date, whatever, like it's a good thing, and put yourself out there. Like I said, you'll never regret it. Okay, the 11th thing I've learned is that if you don't procrastinate, life actually becomes a lot easier. And I shouldn't be talking because I'm like the biggest procrastinator, but the couple times that I haven't, I'm like, wow, I could make life a lot easier for myself if I just didn't. So if you can help not procrastinating, then try not to. The 12th thing I've learned is that saving money actually entails spending less money than you earn. And I think that's like the biggest concept here, is like, don't spend tons of money if you're already in debt kind of thing. And I actually saw another video on YouTube about that was interesting. But I think as you grow up, you just kind of learn the importance of saving money. And I remember being younger and money would just burn a hole in my pocket and I like had to spend it if I got allowance, you know? But just think of like your future self being so happy that your current self is saving. The 13th thing I've learned before I turned 22 is that also though, while you're young, it's your time to be selfish and focus on your passions that you have in life. And a lot of us are fortunate enough to worry about like making money and like a steady income later on in life. So I think when you're young, or if you're in college, if that's like the path you're on, and you want to like branch out and take a minor or like change your major and just kind of focus on what really interests you, instead of being pressured by like, I need to get a job that makes this much money, or like I need to get this job because my parents want to, or this is what everybody in my family is kind of thing. I think it's something that I've learned that like college and just like young adult life, 18, 19, 20, whatever, is your time to really like find out what you're interested in and just kind of like explore those options instead of being pressured to do things that other people are doing or want you to. The 14th thing I've learned is work out because you'll feel so much better and you won't ever regret working out, like hanging out with friends. Seriously, I remember someone telling me that once and it kind of changed the way I thought about working out. They're like, you're never gonna walk out of a workout regretting that you just worked out. You're always going to feel better after. So that's literally why I like to work out, because I know afterwards I'm going to feel better. It just makes me feel so good. And I think growing up is like learning how to take care of yourself and like go to bed early and like eat healthy and work out, because that's actually what makes you like feel good and a part of being successful, I guess. So yeah. The 15th thing I've learned, I would say this is the most important thing I've learned, because I've heard it, I've seen it, and then I've actually experienced it. You cannot love someone else until you really love yourself. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. You can't love somebody else unless you love yourself, because I've just learned that like time and time again. Like, you need to be so happy and like sure with who you are and proud of yourself and like living life for yourself until you can include someone else in life with you together, if that makes sense. And I remember like thinking this, you can't be like 60% okay and then your boyfriend or girlfriend fills you in like the other 40%. Like, you got to be 100 and they can be 100, and then together you're 200 or a million. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if my analogies are making any sense, but like, you need to be so okay with you that like if this relationship ended or this person, you know, disappeared, you would be okay and you would still be you. Because I think so many people get into relationships and they're really not ready for it, and maybe they don't see any of their friends ever again, and the relationship ends and they're like heartbroken and they can't even be them anymore, and that's like not okay. And so yeah, I just think everyone needs to work on themselves. And literally right as I started loving myself, it took me like 2 years after my last breakup, I finally had that sense of like, I'm so okay with being single now, and I'm so happy with where I'm at in life. I've been like working out all summer. I'm really excited for senior year to like just do well in my classes and graduate, and I was so excited to just do me and my own thing senior year. That senior year fall is of course when I find a boyfriend, because I was like looking for 2 years, and that's not what you need to do. You need to work on yourself. Okay, people, when you just went through a breakup, you that's watching right now, go work on yourself. Go stretch, go pet your dog, go draw, go do stuff that works on you. Okay, moving on. The 16th thing I've learned is that growing up in general and going to college, again, if you do that, if your path in life includes that, is going to expose you to so many different situations and cultures of different people you meet. And I just think it's so important to take it all in and learn like a big sponge. Because this world is a big huge place, and it's not just your hometown or the house you grew up in. And I just feel like here at BU, I mean, I feel like I'm lucky because we're such a diverse, like huge school, that I've met and learned about so many different people and cultures. It's crazy. Like, I just feel like I know I'm a completely different person now senior year of college than I was senior year of high school. I just feel like in high school you're in this little bubble in your hometown and you just know what you know, and that just seems so like certain and there's no other way about things. And then you like get out in the real world and you're like, wow, there's like so many things out there. I know this is very vague of me, but I think just like an emphasis on taking in all your experiences and opportunities. And yeah, the 17th thing I've learned is that, with that, like what I was saying with taking in so many cultures and stuff, traveling will teach you so much. So travel if you can. I know obviously there's limiting factors like budget and availability if you work, you're in school, whatever, but I would say I've been so blessed and just so lucky and privileged in the past couple of years that I've been able to travel like so many amazing places and countries, and I've literally learned so much that I just never would have known if I never like got myself out there in the world. So I know it's hard, I know like it's expensive and everything, but if you can, just like traveling anywhere and just like learning about different places and cultures and people is like so eye-opening. And yeah, I think something that's really important in young adulthood if you can. The 18th thing I've learned, you're gonna hate hearing this if you're in high school right now, because I feel like in high school I was so mean to my parents, and that's like a big regret because they love you so much. But so I wrote, no matter what, your parents, your guardians, whoever raised you will always be there for you. And so you just need to be nicer to them and respect them and listen to them. I remember in high school being like, oh, mom and dad, what do you know? And you know, you're just in that phase. But if I could go back, I would be a lot nicer to them and just respect their decisions and listen to them more, because they have been through a lot of life that you haven't been through, and they just want what's best for you. And at the end of the day, more than anybody else you know, they're gonna be there for you. Likely, I know there's like certain circumstances, but a lot of you fall into that category, so be nice and listen to your parents, because your mom and your dad usually know what's up. The 19th thing I've learned, and this I also think is very important. I know I say a lot of these are important, but this I really think is important, is I learned how to take constructive criticism. And I think this is so important, like I said, and will always just help you grow. Because I know a lot of people aren't okay with it. I mean, I've talked to like professors recently, we were talking about constructive criticism and how still like a 40, 50, 60-year-old person can be really bad with it and get really defensive. And I know that's everyone's kind of like go-to immediate reaction, to be like, no, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about, you know? But now I feel like I'm at a point where I've really learned how to take it constructively, and sometimes it's hard to hear, but I like hearing it, because I'm always like, especially you guys in the YouTube comments, if there's like a certain thread maybe that's negative going on, I'm like, okay, instead of other YouTubers that just delete them and are like, go away, I try to kind of listen to it and be like, okay, this is obviously like something that people are saying for a reason, and like, why is that? And maybe what they're saying has some merit to it, and I need to think about me and what I'm doing, if that makes sense. So I think it's really important, and it does help you grow a lot and helps you realize like how you come off. And yeah, the 20th thing I've learned is what matters most is how you see yourself. So always work on self-love, since at the end of the day what you really have is just you. Not to be like sad or morbid or anything, but yeah, you're who's living with yourself, you know what I mean? So like I said earlier, you can't love somebody else till you love yourself. Work on self-love, people, always. Like every day, do something that makes you feel better about yourself. And yeah, work on how you see yourself. I always think about this, I think I've said this in videos before, but you see your friends as like these beautiful, amazing creatures, and you would never say anything mean to them or about them, you know what I'm saying? And so it's so terrible that you could like look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm so like fat or ugly or whatever it is, and you would never say that about your friends. So like, treat yourself how you treat your friends, you know? Just like work on loving yourself so much. So that's the 20th thing. And the 21st thing that I've learned, the last thing I've learned before I turned 22, was that there is so much I still don't know. And I still feel like a baby, and I'll probably look back at this and be like, I literally knew nothing. So yeah, I think just bottom line, you should always stay open-minded and just open to learning in general. And yeah, I hope this has made me insightful a little bit. I know I'm gonna look back at this, like I said, and be like, what was I even talking about? But yeah, I hope that was kind of helpful. I really feel like those are the big takeaways that I've learned thus far in life. That's so weird that I'm 22. Like, I feel so old. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was like a little entertaining. Maybe you learned something. And I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.